Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are about starting the technical session by 1:30, but may I remind us that we have said that we will take Mr. Nelson and Mrs. Okoma, the leftover we have from first technical session, we will take them now. So it is on this note that I will implore Mr. Nelson and Mrs. Okoma to please, Mr. Nelson and Mrs. Okoma to please be at alert. We'll take Mr. Nelson first, then we'll take Mrs. Okoma after. Then we'll now start with this afternoon session. Thank you. God bless you. Good afternoon once again. Mr. Nelson, are you ready to take us now? Mr. Nelson, you can unmute yourself and start your presentation. But shortly before that, let me introduce the
Good afternoon, all.
The chairman of today's technical day at DB is the technical day. He's an erudite scholar, and this session as well promises to be as interesting as the one we had earlier. So please let us be attentive and in good faith and with good minds. Thank you. We can take you now, Mr. Nelson. Mr. Nelson, you can unmute yourself now while you talk to us, while you start your presentation. You have 7 minutes. Mr. Nelson, you have 7 minutes. You can unmute yourself while you take your presentation.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. We can hear you now loud and clear.
It's Johnny Nelson. I am presenting on the topic effect of corruption on agricultural sector performance in Nigeria, an empirical investigation. Agricultural sector has been found so useful. The sector plays vital role in economic advancement in many nations, including Nigeria. Agricultural sector has been widely examined and is acclaimed to have a favorable influence on economic growth. The contribution from the agricultural sector are enormous. The agricultural sector is responsible for the provision of large level of employment creation, inputs, and foreign earnings from export and raw materials from industrial production. Agricultural sector is vital to all sector. It is world's leading source of livelihood. Over the years, efforts to boost the sector have led to the introduction of several programs in Nigeria. Some of these programs include regional government in 1959, National Accelerated Food Production Program by the federal government in 1972.
Sir Nelson, we are having challenges with your audio. If you can change your position so that you get to a place where there's a good network, we'll appreciate that. Thank you.
Effective and profit achieved over the years for management of resources allocation of the agricultural sector. Corruption could be described as a behavioral attitude which is contrary to agreed rules for personal benefit. Corruption in all the institutions in Nigeria and is being performed in the form of fraud, embezzlement, lack of accountability, tender, extortion, nepotism, tribes, and favoritism, according to Okunola, Omaru, and Asan, 2019. Two opposing theories are outstanding in regard to corruption. We have grease the wheel theory and the sand the wheel theory. The grease the wheel theory is of the opinion that corruption can boost economic activities, while sand the wheel is of the opinion that corruption has unfavorable effect on economic activities. These are the theories we look in relation to economic activities.
Mr. Nelson, you have less than 1 minute to summarize your presentation, please, while our chairman technical session takes your observation and comments. Thank you.
Effect of corruption on agricultural performance in Nigeria from 1994 to 2019, and corruption is used as an independent variable while agricultural sector is used as a dependent variable and exchange rate serve as control variable. The study employed regression and co-integration technique for the analysis. The outcome from the investigation revealed that combined effect of corruption and exchange rate had a long-run equilibrium relationship with the performance of agricultural sector in Nigeria. Corruption alone has a significant positive influence on the performance of the agricultural sector in Nigeria. Based on the findings, the investigation concludes that corruption has a significant positive effect on agricultural.
Mr. Nelson, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that presentation. This is the 7th minute of your presentation. May I, on this note, hand you over to the chairman of technical session to make observations and comments, please. Thank you. I will implore that you have a jotter with you to note all those observations. Thank you very much. God bless you. The chairman, sir.
Mr. Nelson for the beautiful presentation. The title of the project, of the topic, the effect of corruption on agricultural sector performance in Nigeria, and empirical investigation. The way it was highlighted here, you really describe corruption as what has actually eaten deep into the Nigerian economy. But according to you, there is little or no effort on the relationship between corruption and the agri sector. So the focus is on other. So you are now joining the two to make sure that those area which is left untouched, so it's also considered, and the introduction so is well structured. The same thing, the literature review on the effort of researchers on each of those items, so adequately captured. Nonetheless, in the conclusion aspect, you are able to inform us that the corruption has actually had great influence in agricultural sector. Because of this, you are able to now recommend that the government should revisit the law that established ICPC and PFCC and weaken the effort, those areas that weaken the effort to fight corruption in Nigeria, that the government should revisit that law, and that Nigerians should also establish an institution that can monitor and relate with those corrupt individuals and ensure that they are actually punished. So the research is well taken. And the references also so follow the format that the references should follow. However, the area of introduction in relation to the way you structure the statement of problem so need to be improved upon, because the way the references, the statement of problem itself, so does not actually capture what you are actually interested in doing. So which means by the time you now consider the introduction aspect, the area that we now create that gap that we want to fill, so should be adequately taken care of. So congratulations once again.
I hope Mr. Nelson got a grip of all the observations raised. Thank you, Mr. Nelson. We appreciate your effort in your presentation. Now we will go to Mrs. Okoma. I don't know, Mrs. Okoma, if she is ready for us. Mrs. Okoma, you can unmute yourself. Mrs. Okoma, you can unmute yourself to start your presentation. You have 7 minutes to make your presentation. You can unmute yourself.
You see on the ground.
Mrs. Okoma, please. Okay, we can hear you. Mrs. Okoma, your mic is not working, please. Your mic is not working. I think we will move away from Mrs. Okoma since she's having challenges with her mic. We will take you immediately after this paper. From there, I would go to Ojuolakwe SM. Mr. Ojuolakwe to Mr. Ojuolakwe, you can unmute yourself while you give us your presentation. Mr. Ojuolakwe. Yes, you can as well give us your video, please. You can as well start your video so that we can have your visuals. Mr. Ojuolakwe, please. We cannot hear you. You are unmuted already. Kindly share us your video. Let us see you. I think we're having a challenge getting.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Hello? Good afternoon. Please, can we have your video, please? Can we have your video?
Trying to do. Yes, we are trying to do it.
You can just start the video, then it gives us your video, then we'll start it.
Okay. Can you see me now?
Okay, now we have your video, please. Now you can go ahead and make your presentation. You have 7 minutes. Thank you.
All right. Greeting everyone. All protocol duly observed. My name is Ajayi Funmilayo. My co-presenters are Ojuolakwe SM, Osalusi MA, and Bababume MO. The title of our paper is Adoption of Digital Reference and Information Services in Academic Libraries as means of minimizing theft and mutilation of library materials. Introduction. Library is unique in the sense that it does not only select, organize, store, and retrieve information, but also create access, protect intellectual freedom, and provide direct assistance and instruction on the use of the information resources. Normally, in academic setting, the library user comes to the library to get all the information in order to complete the assignments and other academic functions. However, not all the library users know how to find the right and accurate information in the library. Some of the library users feel shy to ask for help from any library staff. So in this case, this is one of the reasons of making reference services accessible to aid such library users. In no type of academic libraries, The provision of reference and information service to the library users is considered utmost important because it is one of the important means through which library meets the objective of provision of an effective reference and information service to the institutional community. However, part of the crime committed by the user in the library as a result of manifestation
Mrs. Ajayi, please, we are having, your audio is breaking. You can ensure that you are at a place where the network is good so that your audio will not break. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Regardless of the physical format, library materials must be duly protected and guarded jealously from the community threats and manners in order to ensure durability of the library materials. However, part of the crime committed by the library users in the library as a result of the manifestation of corruption, access, and mutilation of library materials, which are mitigating factors against information satisfaction of the loyal library users. According to Cray 2010, cited in December 2014, enough of our text is.
Mrs. Ajayi, in case we lose a grip of your network, we are going to take the observation from the chairman technical session going forward. So please, you can relocate to a position where there's good network so that we'll get your audio clearer. Thank you.
Continue. Hello? Hello?
You can go ahead.
Can you hear me very well?
You are a little bit clearer now.
All
go
right.
ahead, please.
All right. To OAGA 2014, motivation is an act of underlining and highlighting text in the book, tearing or removing page of book, and annotating book margin. Tamper with the subject content. Yeah.
Mrs. Ajayi, you have less than 2 minutes to summarize your presentation.
Okay.
You have less than 2 minutes to summarize your presentation.
However,
you can tell us your findings, conclusions, recommendations, please.
To renew innovation that leads to digital reference and information services. On the other, okay, in 2013, digital reference service is a term that depicts reference services delivered via electronic means through using both asynchronous and synchronous software. The objective of the study to identify factors responsible for theft and mutilation of library materials. 2, to ascertain the effect of theft and mutilation of library materials. 3, to investigate how to minimize theft and mutilation of library materials. Then, to achieve all aforementioned objectives, the author shall review relevant literature.
Thank you for your presentation. The network really obstructed us, couldn't allow us to enjoy your presentation very well. Meanwhile, we implore that you find the jotter while you take the observations from the chairman technical session. Please, you look for a jotter while you take down the observations that will be raised by the technical session chairman. The chairman technical session, sir.
Hello, good afternoon. Well done, the presenter, Ms. Ajayi, FF, with the co-contributor. So you have done wonderfully well in your write-up. The write-up is about the digital referencing. So as against the former analog, so being used, and the improvement that that one will make to the activities generally in the library. So the project discuss the introduction aspect of what we actually meant by digital information as opposed to what we used to have, and the benefits that we would derive. So was also discussed, as well as the challenges that that one will have as against the former one that is in use. So you are well done. However, starting from the abstract as a way of observation, the abstract is just a bit long and does not capture the essence of what abstract should be, because abstract has to do with the concise summary of the entire write-up. So it has to do with the problem that we have, then how to go about the purpose of your write-up, as well as the method that you use to actually arrive at your findings and then the recommendation. But here, there is no method. It's just like you are just collating the work of others. So as because it just look like a descriptive essay. In that wise, you are just collating the other without actually adding your own as a result of bridging the gap that is existing in the literature. So that is actually a method in the abstract. So you have to actually capture how you are able to assess those activities to make items. So apart from that, the summary of people's work in the literature that I said, so it's okay. So, but what I am now saying is that there is no method that you actually use to, whether it is either statistical method or any other method, to inform us that you have actually added something to the knowledge, so that is actually required. So you have to also improve on that area. So the referencing aspect and so on is okay, and that is how it should be. So in view of that, you need to improve more so that the paper, so if it is going to be reviewed for publication, so it has to be adequately amended. So congratulations once again. So thank you for the beautiful presentation. So thank you.
Chairman, technical session. Thank you very much, sir. On this note, I will call on Mr. Saiduma, from Federal Polytechnic Bida in Niger State. From Federal Polytechnic Bida. I'm not sure he's here. Yeah. If he's not here, we can take the next paper of Mr. Alabi Kehinde from Osun State Polytechnic Ire. From Osun State Polytechnic Ire. Mr. Alabi Kehinde, I can see you. Mr. Alabi Kehinde, you can unmute yourself and make your presentation, please. Mr. Alabi Kehinde, you can unmute yourself. You have 7 minutes, sir. You can start your presentation. Mr. Sokoma, I'll get to you after this, please. Kindly hold on, please. I'll get to you after this. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Hello?
Go ahead, please.
Hello, sir. Am I on?
Mr. Alabikende, you can go on, please.
Yes,
we
sir.
are here with you.
Okay. The virtue of my paper is challenges of insight. My co is Omotoshed from the Department of Languages and Humanities and Afolabi Saka Adebayo. The major objective of the paper is to look at how corruption and insecurity affect the challenges of governance in Nigeria. We try to employ qualitative methods by analyzing secondary data. Am I on? Hello? Hello, sir.
You are on, you are on. You are on, continue.
Trying to analyze the examine various information and previous research on impact of corruption. The focus of this paper is to look at the nature of Nigerian state, the kind of politics being played in Nigeria as source of insecurity in Nigeria, the violent nature of the politics. We look at the origin, the post-colonial states, which is inherited from
Sir Labikende, please, if you can hear us from here, we are having difficulty hearing you. Your audio is breaking. Can you please relocate to find a suitable place where there is good network to present your paper, please? Thank you, sir. Can you do that and present your paper quickly, sir? Thank you.
It's a general problem. It seems a general problem. Is it clear here? Hello, sir.
You can go ahead now, please. You can go ahead now.
Okay. We try to look at the nature of Nigerian state and the kind of politics being played. We discover that the leaders, the political elites, are using the state resources and the nature of politics, how power has been acquired, is in do or die form. So corruption and insecurity are embedded in Nigerian states. As a result, it is difficult to fight corruption. Once you are close to the state of power, it will be very difficult to look into activities. Those who are out of power. So as a result of this, it will be very, very structure of the not restructure. It will be very, very difficult. That is the major aim. There is total overhauling. There is restructuring and transformation of administrative as well as the structure of the state to combat corruption and insecurity will be very, very difficult in Nigeria. That is our submission. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Labikende. Thank you very much. I will, on this note, hand you over to the chairman, technical session for observations. The chairman, sir.
So thank you, Mr. Labikende, for the beautiful presentation on the title, The Challenges of Corruption and the Insecurity in Nigeria, a Critical Insight. So you are able to take us through the definition of corruption, as well as the insecurity, as well as the challenges it brought to our national economy and economic growth. So in view of this, you consider causes of corruption as greed, social cultural value, societal value, general indiscipline, poverty, weak enforcement, and oversight mechanism, nepotism, and the weak institution of government. So, and in line with that, you also cited a model as used by African Development Bank, which equate corruption to monopoly plus discretion, which lacks accountability. So all those ones are what brought about corruption. And you also inform us about the write-up of the theories propounded by the former researchers on those activities, like frustration, which is aggression theory, and the nature and character of a Nigerian state. So in line with what actually brought about corruption and the insecurity. So, and in that wise, you also consider the implication that corruption has on the security and of the Nigerian state. So after which you now consider the you concluded by saying that corruption, which can be traced to the activities of colonial officers, so as now on the rampage, so in Nigeria. So in that wise, you also recommended so what can actually reduce corruption to its barest minimum by saying that there is urgent need for total overhauling of the political structure of Nigerian states. So in that wise, if there is accountability, transparency, and principle of rule of law, so which means everything will be all right. So in that wise, you have actually done justice to the topic, the challenges of corruption and the insecurity in Nigeria. However, starting from the abstract, so the key word, because the project that you are talking on, the research that you are making is of descriptive nature. Maybe that is why all this formality about the method that you are using to actually bring about the captures. Your referencing so should also be improved upon, because I believe you are supposed to use upper style. So the one that I have here so does not actually portray that you are using upper style. So you have to improve upon that too. So congratulations once again. So you just make some amendments and the project will go through. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman. I believe Mr. Alabikende has taken down all the observations raised, while the necessary corrections be made so that the paper will be more robust. Mrs. Okoma, please, can we have you now? Mrs. Okoma, can you please unmute yourself? I have requested that you unmute yourself. Mrs. Okoma. You should unmute yourself, Mrs. Okoma, and talk to us so that we can have your audio. Mrs. Okoma, you can unmute yourself. Okay. Mrs. Sokoma, I think we'll have to take her later. Do I have Mrs. Onyeka Rafiat Olasumbo? Onyeka Rafiat Olasumbo.
Onyeka. Maju.
Any of this around?
You have not started. Mr. Dale, please.
Mrs. Sokoma, if you can hear me, kindly unmute yourself. Let us see whether we can hear you. Unmute yourself. We still have difficulty hearing from you. Can I have Mr. Zaka Daniel? Mr. Zaka Daniel, you can, I guess I saw him the other time. Mr. Zaka Daniel. Okay, Mr. Zaka Daniel, you have the floor now. You can unmute yourself. Let us have your presentation in 7 minutes, please. Thank you.
It's okay, sir. Good afternoon, participants. I am Zaka Daniel Dazan from the Plateau State Polytechnic, Bariki Ladi, presenting the paper on behalf of my co-authors. The title of our paper is Office Ethics, a Panacea for Corruption and Unethical Practices in Organizations. The widespread indifference to office ethics and ethical behavior by organizations.
Zaka Daniel, we cannot have a good visual of you. Can you please go to where we have a better illumination so that we can have you clearer on visuals too? Your audio is quite clear. Let us have your clear visuals as well.
The lighting where I am is not that sharp. That's the problem.
You can go ahead, please.
It's okay. The widespread indifference to office ethics and ethical behavior by some organizations has helped reinforce corruption and unethical practices by employees. This undermines the integrity of the individuals involved and damages the fabric of the organization to which they belong, potentially decreasing morale and thereafter productivity. It is against this backdrop that the study examined office ethics as a panacea for corruption and unethical practices in organizations. The study conceptualized office ethics as a set of rules, standards, principles, and codes, providing guidelines for morally sound behavior in the office. Unethical behavior was seen as any behavior that violates these moral norms. Corruption, on the other hand, was conceptualized as an ethical and moral problem, which implies any behavior that deviates from formal duty of an employee as a result of personal interests regarding wealth, status, or gain. It is worthy to note here that corruption and unethical behavior overlap. This is in view of the fact that in both cases, they involve ethical choices and may have detrimental effect on the organization. That is depending on the moral issue in question. The study further discussed the incidences of corruption and unethical practices in organizations to include cases of personal use of organizational resources, office romance, sexual harassment, bribery, embezzlement, collusion, nepotism, and the likes. The study also discussed the predisposing factors to corruption and unethical practices in organization. These factors were discussed under three variables: the individual variable, the organizational factor, and the external factor. The impact of corruption and unethical practices on the organization was also discussed. The paper concluded that corruption and unethical practices are a function of the interrelationship between individual variable, organizational factor, and external factors. These predisposing factors have a tendency to damage the reputation of an organization and potentially lead to legal trouble, thereby undermining organizational efficiency, effectiveness, and productivity. The study recommended, among others—
Zaka, you have less than a minute to round up your presentation.
The study recommended, among others, that organizations should design a comprehensive ethical program for employees, sensitize employees on the ethical program, and protect persons who expose unethical practices within the organization. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zaka Daniel. I will, on this note, hand you over to the chairman for observations and comments. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Saka Daniel, for that presentation on the topic office ethics, a panacea for corruption and unethical practice in organization. The topic has actually been dealt with all the necessary things that is required. So first of all, by actually defining what we mean by office and also ethics, then you now combine the two, office ethics, and what actually brings about ethical and unethical practices, so in offices. So it was also very well deliberated upon. So as well as you also emphasize that this corruption so actually brought about these unethical practices in all our various organizations. So in view of that, you inform us about what the implication of these unethical practices so in various organizations, so which actually brought about by corruption. So you are welcome. And so, but on the other hand, the way the project is arranged, so need to be improved upon. The paper is arranged, it needs to be improved upon. So, and that is why that's the area that you need to actually focus on, so that it will now make it a better presentation. So thank you very much for the job well done. So the reference is also okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman. I hope Mr. Zaka Daniel took note of all those observations while you use them to increase the richness of the paper in question. Thank you very much. I will on this note call on Mr. Esiagu Ugochukwu from the Department of Computer Science, Akanu Ibiam Federal Polytechnic, Uwana in Ebonyi State, all the way from Ebonyi State. Mr. Ugochukwu, I hope you are here. Mr. Ugochukwu. Mr. Ugochukwu. He is not here. We can take the next one. Where is he? Where is he? Okay, Mr. Ugochukwu, good afternoon. You can unmute yourself. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm here. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you loud and clear, and your visual is being impeded by the lighting that is coming out through that window behind you. Possibly you can face that side so that we'll have your visuals clearly. Thank you.
Okay. Is it better now?
We can manage you like this. Please go ahead. We can manage you like this. Please go ahead. You have
management. Thank you.
You can start now.
Thank you. Is it okay? Good afternoon, fellow participants. Esiagu Ugochukwu presenting a paper titled Coronavirus Pandemic Set to Relocate Businesses to the Cloud. We have noticed in the past few months the problems associated with the coronavirus pandemic, how it has disrupted our businesses and generally our life. Most businesses now run online. Example is this conference we are having with you, the Federal Polytechnic here. Ordinarily, it would have been a physical contact of a conference. But because of the coronavirus pandemic, we chose to run online. So has so many businesses been operating for some time now. And when we talk about cloud and cloud computing, we are talking about the internet. Cloud is synonymous to the internet. Because of the problems of the coronavirus, many businesses that have gone to the cloud for advertisement, for sales, and for people and customers order for goods now online because of the restriction of movement imposed by governments, which was just relieved a few weeks ago. When we talk about cloud computing, we are talking about the availability of computing resources in the cloud. What are those cloud computing resources? We're talking about servers, database, we're talking about communication and other infrastructures. Some businesses do not have the capacity to acquire some of this infrastructure, and they rely solely and heavily on the services available in the cloud. So that takes us to the components of the cloud. What are the basic components of cloud? We have three basic components of cloud. We have software as a service. We have infrastructure as a service, and also platform as a service. These basic components will enable business concerns and even governments to do business on the internet without getting worried of procuring computer and computing resources and infrastructure like software and hardware. For all these are made available in the cloud and are delivered to the business concerns on demand basis. Now, the theoretical framework. This research work draws its strength from the supply chain theory put forward by Kate Oliver, and the supply chain theory deals with transaction cost analysis. And transaction cost analysis looks at the marginal cost of production and the marginal cost of transacting businesses. And the cloud computing is a very good platform that will provide the much needed economy of scale.
You have less than 2 minutes to summarize your presentation, please.
Thank you.
You have less than 2 minutes to wrap up.
Thank you. There are a lot of facilities that are available to business concerns on the cloud. And for businesses that want to remain competitive in today's technology-driven environment, we recommend that they run most of their activities and services online, that is internet. And the paper concludes that governments and individuals and business concerns should look at the opportunities available and do some necessary adjustments to fit into the technology-driven environment of today. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ugochukwu, all the way from Ebonyi State.
Thank you.
I will, on this note, pass you over to the chairman for comments. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ugochukwu, for that beautiful presentation. So the paper actually dealt with the coronavirus pandemic, and that's the benefit that we have to derive from there. That is that it's set to relocate all businesses to the cloud. So that is the advantages that you are just informing us. So in view of this, the paper actually dealt with the topic, and also you took us to the area where we have a benefit of going to the cloud and the component of the activities that we have to consider when going to the cloud, like the software, the infrastructure, and the platform. So all those activities. Also, you also inform us about the challenges that going to the cloud will entail. And the first one is a security issue, the cost management and containment, lack of resources and expertise, the governance and control. All those ones are challenges. However, you inform us that if despite all these challenges, the benefit that we have to derive so the benefit that we have to derive so actually outweigh all those disadvantages and challenges that we have there. So because of that, the paper is okay and actually address the issue. So thank you very much. But apart from this, the paper itself, I don't know, it is not structured because all the formats that you have to follow were not followed. You did not use the actual font size and so on. So in handling your paper. Also, the issue of your hypothesis. So we are not actually done the way that you're supposed to do it. So the hypothesis, you said there is no relationship between COVID-19 and the increased number of businesses. It was because there is relationship, that is why you even choose it as a topic. But if there is significant relationship, it will affect the findings that you have. So which means it's either there is no significant, you put the word significant so that it will now let us know whether your findings so will actually affect the current position of things before COVID-19. So those are the areas that you have to consider. So the word significant, you have to put it so that it will make your paper so very worthy. So thank you very much. The reference is true, so it's not, it has no So you should work on the references. That is what I'm saying. The references has no direct format. So, and you have to even improve on the number of references that you have to have actually consulted when developing your paper. So thank you very much.
Thank you, the chairman. I will move on to Mr. Tijani Ganiu Adisa from Department of Business Education, School of Vocational and Technical Education, Osun State Polytechnic Ire. Mr. Tijani Ganiu Adisa. Mr. Tijani Ganiu Adisa. You can unmute yourself now, Mr. Tijani. You can go ahead now.
Good afternoon. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good afternoon, my co-presenters. I'm Tijani Ganiu Adisa from Osun State Polytechnic Ire, and my co-presenters are OJ, Mr. Baba Tunde, and that of Mr. Adedeji, all of us from Ospoli Ire. I'm here to present a topic this afternoon, that is the effect of the effect of tax and corruption on foreign direct investment or oil-related foreign direct investment, evidence from Nigeria.
Tijani Gani, we have a bad network signal from Ire. The last presenter from Ire to gave us these audio breaking problems. Your audio is not clear, it is breaking. Can you please reevaluate your position so that we'll have clearer audio from you? Thank you.
Are you here now? Hello? Hello, sir?
Yeah, clear now. You can go ahead now.
Okay. I'm to present effect of tax and corruption on related oil foreign direct investment, evidence from Nigeria. The issue of the flow of capitals across the world has been not evenly distributed due to the fact that there are a lot of challenges which has been attributed to the issue of multiple taxes and corruption. Let's say, for instance, in advanced country, they receive more than 1 trillion between 2005 and 2016, and at the same time followed by Asia country. Then the Nigerian as part of the Africa remain very low, and this calls for what really happened, what really going on in to be on that problem, and at the same time, it now moves us to what is known to be the tax incentive that normally need to be attract the foreign direct investment, in which the tax are not be normally used the way it's supposed to use. And other this, we now move, the researcher now center the objective of the study on the basic objective of the study was to carry out the effect of multiple tax on foreign direct investment, and specific one are to check the effect of company income tax, educational tax, and that of the petroleum income tax and others like that. There are a lot of the conceptual framework. This conceptual framework examine the concept of tax and the corruption, foreign direct investment, tax incentive, and the corruption on FDI. Because these are the FDI normally choose the company which they want to invest on based on the incentive, that is in terms of development, in terms of the very good condition, in terms of the policy of the nation. And we realize that the Nigerian as a country have not utilized the money being collected from them, because there must be what is known to be value for money. Because if somebody is spending on something and something does not give the convenience and
Tatiana, you have
the
less than
expected
2 minutes to round up with your presentation.
Okay, thank you, sir. So this as a result, we now use we adopt under the methodology, we adopt the model of Akinwumi Olotu and Adegbe 2017, which encapsulate the non-performance non-oil related company in FDI with we proceed with what? With company income tax, educational tax, petroleum tax, tax incentive, and others like that. And it was when we carry out this something, it was concluded that the effect of multiple tax and corruption on oil-related company affect the inflow of foreign direct investment in Nigeria. And there is a positive, significant and positive relationship between the infrastructural development and tax incentive and FDI flow into the Nigeria. And at the same time, the company income tax fund to be exhibit negative significant relationship inflow to the country, and at the same time, educational tax does not were not significant and of the determinant in the inflow to the country. Recommendation. Now, as far as these are the significant result on infrastructural development is all about, it is very good for the government of Nigeria to do what to embark on a very good project, that is infrastructural development, infrastructural things, so as to enable the FDI, that is foreign direct investor, to do what? To come to Nigeria to invest. And at the same time, they should improve on the policy. They should improve on the policy that attached to the tax, be it a double taxation and others like that. And on the final note, there should
Mr.
be
thank you very much. Thank you for that presentation. Thank you. I will, from this point, pass you over to the chairman for further observation and comments on your presentation. Thank you. The chairman,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tijani Ganiyu, on the topic, effect of multiple taxes and corruption on oil-related foreign direct investment with your co-contributors. So the effect, as you have rightly put there, as how it affects the foreign direct investment, especially on the oil-related sector. So the company's income tax, the value-added tax, and so on. So the effect that it has, so beautifully captured. So also, you also highlighted the benefit that we derive from foreign direct investment, if not because of this corruption and so on that is taking away all these benefits. So the country will have been better for it. However, you still inform us that if we are able to reduce that multiple taxation, so maybe it will now and bring in some things that will actually do us proud. So you use statistical data to actually drive home your point, so as well as the hypothesis that you have actually tested. So in view of this, so the paper so is well presented and so beautifully captured. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will, Mr. Adeyemi Adedayo Patrick. I don't think Mr. Adeyemi Adedayo, please. Mr. Adeyemi Adedayo. Same now. Mr. Adeyemi Adedayo, you can unmute yourself. Mr. Adeyemi Adedayo is from Business Education Department. Michael Otedola College of Primary Education, Nuforija, Lagos State.
Good afternoon.
You can go ahead with your presentation, please. You have 7 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I believe you can hear me now.
I can hear you, but I cannot have your video, please. Can you please let us have your video, please?
Okay. Let me put it on.
Thank you. You can go ahead with the presentation now. You have 7 minutes.
The topic for presentation is business education, an effective tool in achieving a corruption-free society for national development in Nigeria. I'm from Business Education Department, Michael Otedola College of Primary Education, Ekwe, Lagos. And my co-author is Mr. Oluwabunmi Oluwo Amos. And the idea behind this topic, the authors feel that if there is a corruption-free society, then definitely there will be national development. And we are looking at a business education. How business education can be a very effective tool in achieving that corruption-free society. Now, you agree with me also that business corruption has eaten deep into the progress of Nigeria as a nation. As a matter of fact, it has become almost impossible for successive governments to eradicate the menace of corruption in our nation. So the paper also looked at two theories that are related to the topic. The two theories are the principal agent theory and the collective action theory. The principal agent theory says that agents and people that are in public offices are agents that should give good accounts of the resources that have been committed into their care. But we see that otherwise is the case in our country, thus affecting the national development of Nigeria. We also define some concepts. Business education. Business education is an education that is given out to students to make them to be effective or to be independent and prepare them for the world of work. In other words, they are to stand or to be able to be on their own without looking for white-collar jobs when they get to the larger society. The paper also looked at the importance of business education to the nation. It also looks at the objectives of business education. We also discussed the challenges of business education. Now, we also defined corruption. We said corruption is effort to secure wealth or power through illegal means. Efforts to secure wealth or power through illegal means or private gains. It is also the misapplication of public resources for private ends. When you misappropriate public resources for personal use, it is known as corruption. We also looked at the corruption in Nigeria, try to trace how corruption has affected our progress as a nation. We also looked at the consequences of corruption and
Sir,
national development.
you have
Now,
less than 2 minutes to round up your presentation.
Okay.
You have less than 2 minutes.
The focal point of our paper is how business education can reduce corruption in Nigeria and make us achieve a national development. Business corruption teaches morals. It teaches anti-corruption elements such as integrity, honesty, accountability, transparency, and so on and so forth. So through this, we believe that corruption can be of great effect. Business education can be of great effect in reducing corruption in Nigeria. We concluded the paper by saying that a corruption-free society is achievable through an holistic approach, which includes tackling the challenges of business education. when the challenges of business education are tackled, then we produce products. We have products that we release into the society and reduce corruption. We also recommended that business education should be funded such that such challenges will be reduced. The challenges of funding, the challenges of lack of resources, and so on and so forth should be reduced. And the curriculum should also be entrenched such that anti-corruption elements, integrity, transparency, accountability can be embedded in the curriculum of business education so that we have the mindset that when they go out, corruption is a no-go area for them. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Adedayo Adeyemi. Let me quickly pass you on to the chairman for comments and observations.
Thank you, Mr. Adeyemi, for the presentation.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
So the topic, business education and effective tool in achieving a corruption-free society for national development in Nigeria. So was well captured.
Yes.
The introduction aspect.
Yes, sir.
Is also discussed, but the area of the statement of problem was not actually brought up. So that's your introduction. There is no other area where you take it up because it is the problem that you are actually researching on. But there is no area here where you are now focusing on that and you are actually highlighting it as a gap that you want to use your research to fill. So you have to actually correct that. So generally, the area of emphasis is about how the business education itself should actually help us to bring a corruption-free society.
Yes.
So that is the area, and you actually consider the objective of business education as we take.
Yes.
So all those ones were actually adequately captured. So
yes. Thank you, sir.
That is okay. So the only thing is also this arrangement of this your fourth and so on. I think you have to improve on it too.
Okay.
So your references is also okay. Follow the upper style. So thank you very much for that presentation. So you are well done.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me apologize to Mrs. Okuma. It is due to the fact that we cannot have your audio the other time. I'm aware you are with Alhaji Sule now. Mrs. Okuma, you can unmute yourself now and make your presentation, please.
All right. Okay, good afternoon, sir.
Thank God, at last we have you. Thank God.
Present the paper which
you can go ahead, ma. You have 7 minutes, please.
Yes, sir. Using family life education to mitigate corruption in Nigeria family system. The aim of the study is to investigate the role family life education plays in the mitigating corruption in the contemporary society. So the paper dealt with how family life education can help to reduce corruption in Nigeria family life system. What is really family life education? Family life education is conceived as program designed to specifically improve family life by a way of contributing to the development of students intellectually, socially, emotionally, physically, psychologically, morally, and spiritually capable to be able to fit into the society. As Burons et 1995 have already said. Corruption as defined. What is corruption? Corruption as defined by Minton 2000 is the use of public of office for private gain, or in other words, use of official position, rank, or status by an office bearer for his own personal benefit. We discover that in our contemporary society today, corruption is everywhere. It's happening in developed countries and also in developing countries. So this paper wants to see how family life education can help in reducing corruption in our family system. The society is made up of family. The school, the students we are teaching, they are made up of family. So in the school, the teacher can teach the students on how to behave well. And that is the reason why the family life education as part of home economics education helps to train up the character, the behavior of the children. Scholars have identified poverty as one of the major causes of corruption in Nigeria. According to Adebiloye et al. 2011, and other factors such as unemployment or lack of job opportunity, underemployment, low income, irregular source of income, delay of salary payment, and lack of basic needs are the problems associated with poverty, which pave way to corruption in Nigerian citizens.
Mrs. Okoma, please, you can go ahead. You can go ahead and summarize your paper. Conclude your presentation, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Then how can family life education help in reducing corruption? Effort has been made to tackle corruption in Nigeria, but with no result. This calls for another alternative. The family life education is considered here as a tool that is useful for fighting corruption in Nigeria system. Family is considered as a basic unit in the society. So parents, therefore, are the primary educator of their children. Family life education provides the opportunity for young people to approach their parents and future family relationship with greater understanding and responsibility. Another dimension that family life education seems to be useful for combating corruption is through promoting healthful living and responsible behavior. Moral character like respect, kindness, justice, mercy, honesty. This can also be taught through family life education in the school. So school can play a role by providing basic knowledge and an opportunity for students in a structured peer group setting to critically examine the pressure that influence their life. Moral education is one of the core matters that family life education program handle to equip the learner to possess moral character. Corruption in Nigeria is because some of the society, they lack of good character and behavior. So that is the reason why family life education is important in the school.
Mrs. Okoma, thank you for your presentation. Thank you for your presentation. I will pass you over to the chairman for observations and comments now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Okoma, for that presentation. The topic is using family life education to mitigate corruption in Nigerian family system. And the topic, so it's actually informing us that all this corruption that is within the nation is as a result of family problem that we have. And if the corruption is curbed from the family. That is, everything will be okay and the society will be better for it. So thank you very much for that beautiful work, as well as the area of how you consider the statement of problem to the objective. So it's not, maybe because of the fact that the paper is descriptive, maybe that is why you did not deem it fit to consider that the statement of problem is actually the gap that you need to fill as a result of your research work. So you have to improve on that area. So that is that. Then the methodological approach that you use. Also, you said you employ a qualitative approach, descriptive, expository, and all those. So you are not well captured. So in your write-up. So in view of this, so you have to also improve on this. The area of references. So you use upper style, but the spaces that you need to create so are not adequately created. So you also improve on that area too. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the chairman. Please, I want to take Mr. Saidumba from Federal Polytechnic Bida. Mr. Saidumba, he was with us in the morning. He has been with us in the morning, but unfortunately, he is scheduled to present in the afternoon. We ought to have taken him earlier, but he was not around. Mr. Saidumba, please, can you unmute yourself? And let us have your presentation, please. Mr. Saidumba. Video, please. Mr. Saidumba, can we have your video, please?
Standing on the existing protocol. My name is.
You have 7 minutes, please, Mr. Saidumba. You have 7 minutes.
All right,
to make your presentation. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Standing on the existing protocol, my name is Umar Kasim Saidu from Federal Polytechnic Bida. I'm one of the authors of the paper titled Real-Time Cloud-Based Facial Recognition System for Intruder Detection and Recognition. The rate of burglary and other related crimes in residential areas in developing countries, especially Nigeria, is quite alarming, with theft put about 45% of all crimes, and half of such perpetrators go unidentified, according to UOGU 2011. There exist several intruder detection systems, such as the home surveillance systems, burglar alarm systems, monitor alarm systems. However, most of these systems are not real-time and lack facial recognition capability, which are essential for effective intruder detection, recognition, and alerting. Furthermore, most of facial recognition systems are not cloud-based. This work presents the design of a real-time cloud-based facial recognition system, which will help solve the problems highlighted. This was achieved by capturing images using CMOS camera, transmitting these images to a cloud-based facial recognition system installed in the cloud, whereby if the images recognized as intruders are being sent to the occupant through an Android application installed on their phones. The system is divided into 3 modules: the capturing and transmission, the facial recognition system, and they are Latin. Now let's go about with the image transmission. The image transmission is comprised of radio module. It's a component, hardware component, and an Arduino board. These are used to capture an image whereby whenever an intruder tries to get access to a building by triggering the vibrator sensor. So this vibrator sensor is what is responsible in turning on the camera. So when the camera is turned on, the image is being captured without the intruder knowing. Immediately, the image is being transferred to the system that's installed in the cloud base for facial recognition. If the image is recognized as a member, it transmits the image to another database whereby the occupant can have access to it. Also, if the image is recognized as an intruder, the image is then transferred to the occupant in a real time in order for the occupant to take necessary actions. Coming through the facial recognition system is divided into 4 modules. We have the image preprocessing, we have the face detection, feature extraction, and the recognition. Now, the image preprocessing, this is done in order to brighten the image in case the image is dark, and also to reduce the size so that it can be transmitted over online.
Mr. Saiduma, you have less than 2 minutes to round up your presentation, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now let's go through the flowchart of the entire system. First of all, the system acquires image using a CMOS camera, which is installed on the wall with a vibration sensor, after which the image is being sent to the cloud base for recognition. Immediately the image comes into the system, it will perform preprocessing, detection, recognition, and then make some decisions based on the output. If the image is recognized as an intruder, the image will be transferred to the occupant on his Android application phone. Whereas if the image is a member, it will be saved in case if the occupant want to view those that gain access during his absence. So, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saiduma. I will pass you over to the chairman for comments.
The real-time cloud-based facial recognition and the alerting system for intruder detection and recognition. So it's well captured. So you actually deliberated on the fact that there are cloud-based facial recognition that will still be hiding so that it will not be recognized by those intruders, so that it will not be actually tampered with and so on. So, and the way and manner it will be done, so it's actually put here in detail. So I think those in engineering and computer services will be able to decipher this and all this flow charting and so on to make it work. So actually highlighted here too. So those are the basis of the paper, and all in the aim of detecting and even eliminating corrupt practices, so that those who are actually involved in corruption will not even know that they are being captured. So the paper is timely and also related to the theme of the conference. So thank you very much for the beautiful presentation. I think those in authority will be able to use this as a basis of installing all those wares in most of our organizations. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, sir. Now I'll go to Mrs. Emodi Ngozi. Mrs. Emodi Ngozi is from Department of Metallurgical Engineering, Delta State Polytechnic, Ogwashuku. I think I get the pronunciation of the name. Mrs. Emodi, you can unmute yourself and share us a video, please.
Okay.
Please, you can share us a video, please. You can unmute yourself and share us a video.
Can you see me now? Okay. Are we okay?
Yeah, good to go now, please.
Okay,
Go
good
ahead and
afternoon.
make your presentation. You have something.
Good afternoon, all. Emodi Ngozi from Delta State Polytechnic Ogwashuku, and I'm here to present a study. My topic is a study on academic corruption in tertiary institutions, the causes, the effects, and probable solution. I'm with Iwerolo, Sunday, and co. Corruption is an endemic in Nigeria, and it has negatively affected the well-being of the nation economically, morally, academically, and otherwise. Over the years, researchers have tried to tackle it from various perspectives and its effect in the society, but it appears to be on the increase, damaging every facet of natural life. There can be no natural development in the face of corruption. It should be noted that tackling corruption is vital and a must for any meaningful national development. This paper studies academic corruption, ranging from its definition, its various ways it can be practiced in various institutions. I want to try and define academic corruption, but before I do that, I will define corruption. Corruption, as seen by Heyman, is an abuse of authority for personal or material gain. Academic corruption includes all forms of corrupt practices taking place in the academics and which have a direct negative effect on the standard of education. For example, we have the examination malpractice, bribery, extortion, and favoritism. Okebulo, in his work in 2005, observed that academic corruption is a problem, requires scholarly attention because it hampers qualitative university education. This was necessitated due to the low quality performance variable rating, which were reported to be below average in Nigeria. And Nigeria was not among the first 20 universities in Africa. Academic corruption is also an outcry, seriously, and has led to falling standard of education, both in the news and print media. For instance, we have demand for gratification by teachers, among others, that have led falling standard of education in Nigeria, according to Babalola in 2010. This paper seeks to identify causes of corruption, its effects, with probable solution. I want to start with the types of corruption before I go to the causes. From the paper, I captured the types of corruption. We have bribery in the academia. We have bribery, act of giving gratification for one to get higher scores or higher grades. We have cheating. Cheating includes using of microchips. Some people call it a cooperation in the hall in order to get better scores. We have deception, where you give false information. For example, we have cases where people will come and say they have the WAEC standard where they don't have it. It could be a form of deception. We have fabrication, false falsification of data. We have impersonification, where you see students going to the hall.
Mrs. Emodi, please, you can go ahead and tell us your findings or your solutions to what we have on the ground. We are already familiar with all those things they are telling us. Let us know your contribution to knowledge as regards to that paper so that we'll move forward. You have less than 2 minutes to wrap up your presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, I went down to what I did. Please, sorry, let me get to my conclusion. All right, what I did actually was, I'm trying to get it, sorry. Okay, I tried to look at probable solutions. To combat corruption in the academic sector, we said that number one, the management should undertake reforms in all ramifications. This can be done by reducing weaknesses. There are cases you find out where you get a corrupt individual, and because the person has connections, the person is not treated as such. I also suggested that they should be given proper orientation. Students should be given orientation to shun corruption, telling them the effects. I also advise that management should go the extra mile in organizing award ceremonies where you see you celebrate those that are not involved in these corrupt practices. If management should go and say, okay, we have award nights, like governors now, you have award nights for them. If institutions should say every section, at the end of section, you go around telling students who is the best lecturer that doesn't do this and doesn't do that. You find that people will want to embrace standing integrity. I also
Mrs.
encourage.
Ngozi, thank you for your presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for your presentation, Mrs. Ngozi. Thank you very much.
All
yes. Right. I will hand you over to the Chairman Technical Session for scrutiny and observations on your paper. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Emodi Ngozi, for that presentation on the topic, a study on academic corruption in tertiary institutions, causes, effect, and the probable solution. So you have actually dealt well with the topic, and therefore the area that you have touched, so like the types of academic corruption, so which involve bribery, cheating, deception, fabrication, and so on. So, and also the history, what brought it about, and the causes. So all those ones were actually dealt with. The paper is in form of a descriptive. So maybe another time you're supposed to bring in some quantitative analysis on the actual happenings, maybe some examples on what actually happened academically in various institutions, so that by the time you brought that, bring that into the paper, so it will now enrich that paper. So the actual causes without those that you can now refer to as what has happened before. So as a not with that, I can say that you have not done justice to that area. So apart from that, the area of your referencing, I think the format given is that upper style should be used. So you did not use upper style at all in your reference. So you need to also consider the format that is given in various conferences that you are to submit any paper to in future. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman. This is Emodi Ngozi. I hope you have a grip of all the observations raised. Kindly note them down and make necessary corrections, please. Thank you. I will, on this note, I want to implore all participants. We still have more than 10 participants to make presentations this afternoon. I want to implore us all to kindly speak to our paper. Tell us, we are aware that corruption is a cankerworm eating deep into all our affairs. But let us know the problem you have identified in relationship with your paper. Let us know how you have attempted what you have put in place to solve those problems. That's what we are interested in as far as we are concerned. When we do that, we will have a maximum time to talk to your paper and for us to make meaningful observation on your papers. Thank you. So on this note, I'll call on Mr. Rashid Dauda. Mr. Rashid Dauda is from Department of Economics, Kwara State College of Education in Lorry, and is to present a paper titled Business Education as a Veritable Strategy for National Development in Nigeria. Mr. Rashid Dauda, you can unmute yourself and start your presentation. You have 7 minutes, sir.
Okay, good afternoon. Hello, can you hear me?
You can go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, my co-participants. I know protocol duly observed. I'm Dauda Rashid from the Kwara State College of Education in Lorry. I'm here to present my paper, Business Education as a Veritable Strategy for National Development in Nigeria.
While Mr. Rashid is on, please, Mrs. Agbaji Folake Miola.
The main aim of this paper was to examine the strategy of business education in promoting national development. Development is seen as a purposeful change in a society that contributes to the social and economic well-being and advancement of its people. A survey research design was used for the study, while the population comprised of 123 business educators teaching in public colleges of education in Kwara State. It has been recognized globally that entrepreneurial development is one of the most effective tools for ending poverty, unemployment, and achieving national development. Comprehensively, education is not just to learn theoretically, but to acquire qualitative skills by Dauda 2019. Business education may perhaps provide significant value in national development by supporting and supplementing student educational needs while enabling personalization of learning, establishing connections between learners, increasing student engagement, and providing access to various learning. In the opinion of Nwo Kike, June 2017, the business education program is concerned with teaching skills, attitude, and knowledge necessary for a successful career in office and entrepreneurial world. The objective of business education, as identified by Ekpolo and Egbe 2017, pointed out that one, to prepare the student for a specific career in office occupation, and also equip learners with the requisite skills for job creation and entrepreneurship. And lastly, is to expose students with knowledge about business with excellent computer training in technology. While development could be defined broadly as a kind of change that is defined in the direction of capacity building towards self-sustenance, growth, and self-sufficiency as it affects individuals or institutions in a society. National development, therefore, can be defined as the overall development or a collective socio-economic, political, and technological advancement of a country or nation. This is best achieved through development planning, which can be described as the country's collection of strategies, policies, plans, programs, projects, and others are spelled out by the government. From the aforementioned, one would detect that ensuring the optimization of resources, both human and materials, and integrating some of the national development
Mr. Rashid, you have less than 2 minutes to summarize your position and make your presentation.
Okay, so one of the crucial findings in this research is that business education is applicable in achieving national development in Nigeria because the business education program educates learners for and about business, and also it provides the needed manpower in the industry. It also helps business education students to develop personal skills related to business occupation. The acquired skills in business education may help the participant to establish small-scale business and run it fruitfully. In conclusion, business education could be established as a strategy way forward in achieving national development as a result of its applicability in providing the required manpower in the industry. And also, based on the findings of the study, the following recommendations were made by the researcher. That one, the curriculum planner should ensure that the school curriculum content of the business education program applies to the skills required of entrepreneurs and industries for national development. And also, the government and stakeholders should put in place policy measures to improve the quality of the training facilities for the adequate acquisition of skills by the recipients with modern technology for national development. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will, on this note, hand you over to the chairman, technical committee to, fortunately for you, this is the last paper he'll be taking as the chairman. We are bringing another person on board to chair this session. So I know that he will do justice to your paper well with his wealth of experience. Kindly have a jotter with you and a biro to take down all the observations that will be raised. The chairman, please, you are on, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for that presentation, Mr. Rashid Dauda. So the area you actually touch is that of business education as a perishable strategy for national development in Nigeria. So that is the area of that topic, and you consider the topic by using some statistical data to actually drive home the information that you want to present. And in view of this, so you also come out with conclusion on the strategic way forward in achieving that national development. You also recommended that the planners will ensure that school curriculum content of the business education program will apply to the skill required, and the government and stakeholders will put in place policy measures to improve that quality of training facilities. However, in the project, the first thing that you have to do while considering paper is the statement of problem. That statement of problem that you post here actually contradicted itself. So it has to go with the title of the paper. In your first paragraph, you said there is unconnected with the negligence of government in prioritizing the importance of business education. That is, the negligence of the government has nothing to do with that business education. So the other one, you said the issue of unemployment and poverty are unconnected to the spate of terrorist attacks. So all those ones, you have to align that your statement of problem to be in order. Apart from that, the purpose of the study has to do with the title, why the hypothesis that you are testing has deviated entirely from that title. Like what we have here is the purpose, is the applicability of the business education program in achieving national development. But what you are now testing as the hypothesis, it's saying there is no significant difference between the main response of male and female business educator in colleges of education. So it is not in line with that purpose. So you have to also align the purpose with your research hypothesis. So those are the areas that you have to improve upon. So also in your area of references, so you have to use basically the upper style. Though you used upper style, but it was not well arranged. So you have to also improve on that. So thank you very much for that presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, the chairman. I think we appreciate you for coming. Thank you for your usage of wealth of experience to do justice to the papers presented. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it on behalf of the chairperson. Thank you. We will, on this note, bring in a new chair of our technical session. She is Barrister Dr. Mrs. I don't know which one should come first. Barrister Dr. Mrs. MJO Mohammed. She is the Director of Legal Services. She's the Director of Legal Services, Federal Polytechnic there. Barrister Dr. Mrs. You're welcome, ma. She is the chairperson to take over from Dr. W.K. Adebi. Dr. Adebi, we thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Adebi is the head of Accountancy Department. We have on board now, this is Barrister Dr. Mrs. MJO Mohammed, the Director of Legal Services, Federal Polytechnic Ede. I will love to inform us that Mrs. Agbaje Folakemi should be ready for our presentation now. Agbaje Folakemi. I don't think she's here anymore. Agbaje Folakemi is not here. Okay, she's here. Mrs. Agbaje, you can go ahead and make your presentation. Mrs. Agbaje, you can unmute yourself and start your presentation. You have 7 minutes. Mrs. Agbaje, let us have your video, please. We can have your video. We don't have your video. Can we have your video, please?
All right, sir.
Thank you. You can go ahead. You have 7 minutes. Please talk to your paper and let us enjoy you within a little time frame. Thank you.
Okay. Hello. Am I on? Can you hear me?
Go ahead, please. We can hear you.
All right. All protocols duly observed. I am Agbaje Folakemi Olabisi, and this paper is co-authored with Idris Tunde Yusuf from Osun State College of Technology. The topic before me is new challenges in privacy protection, the role of information professionals. Right, the relationship between privacy protection and technological development cannot be separated. They are intertwined. In that it is through technology, science and technology that our privacy are being intruded upon. It is the advent of technology that actually brought the intrusion of privacy. Thus, information professionals therefore have critical roles to play in addressing these challenges as part of the services. So the paper focuses more on privacy, its importance, the challenges in this age, and the roles of information professionals in addressing these threats. Let's look at the concept of information. Information has been given different definitions by different scholars, but I will emphasize the one actually by Stafford 1998. He says dissemination of information has been made so easy that problems of information overload, definitions, according to Wang 2018, describe information as data that has been processed to be useful, provide answers to who, what, where information is endowed with meaning, relevance, and purpose. In summary, information is data that has been processed and that is relevant to the recipient. So we are going to privacy too as a concept. Privacy too has been given them different definitions by different scholars, and it actually means a state of being secluded from a group of people. It can also be referred to as confidentiality, anonymity, seclusion. So let's look at privacy protection of individuals in Nigeria. That's looking at privacy protection in the Nigerian context. Presently, there is actually no legal legislation. There is actually no legislation on data protection. There is none. The Data Protection Bill of 2017 is still under review, and it seems to be the only bill where personal data is said to mean data which relates to living individual who can be identified from this data. However, we have technological advancement that has helped in privacy protection, like encryptions and digital rights management, and equally tracking. So,
Madam Agbaje, please, you have less than 2 minutes to round up your presentation. You have less than 2 minutes.
typically discuss copyright law and privacy protection. It also mentioned new challenges in privacy protection. And some of the challenges are that every day of our life, we leave data about us. Data comes everywhere, in hospitals, schools, libraries, banks. And most of these data, we don't know whether they are protected or not. There is a big question mark on the aspect of privacy of this data that we leave around. So because of these big questions, it's become a challenge, that's posed a challenge to all information professionals, like information managers, curators, archivists, on how to manage this information being provided by the clientele who use information centers and the libraries. It has become a challenge to them on how to manage these privacies that are supplied by their clientele and patrons who use this information. So what are the roles of information professionals? One, as librarians and information managers, that organize, preserve, and retrieve dissemination printed and digital materials. Libraries must make extensive use of modern media and technology, which has enhanced the roles of libraries. And there has been a change from the traditional librarian. Gone are the days where we used to use them. We only store books, information on papers only. We also have we also preserve digital materials too. And then the privacy question comes in play, and that's where we have the copyright law coming in play. How is it properly implemented, this copyright law that protects the intellectual property of the authors and the owners? So this paper concludes by saying that okay, this paper concludes that due to advancement in civilization and technology.
Mrs. Agbaje, please, thank you for your presentation. Thank you. I will, on this note, call on the chairperson to kindly observe and comment on your presentation. The chairperson, ma'am.
Thank you for the beautiful presentation of this paper. That was a very good attempt. The paper has highlighted the importance of privacy protection by information professionals. The paper observed that there are no current legislation on data protection and that there is the need to minimize the threat to privacy protection through data protection of users through their digital services. Like I said, that's a very good attempt. The abstract captures the essence of the paper, and it's clear the intention of the presentation right from the abstract. The paper is well segmented into introduction, but the conceptual framework is also well highlighted. Privacy protection in Nigeria is discussed, and as a matter of human dignity. The paper also briefly reviews the provision of Copyright Act as capturing translations, adaptations, new versions or arrangements of pre-existing works. It also recognizes the work of joint authors. The problem identified here is that the privacy protection issue has not been adequately catered for. And the paper then recommends that this should be addressed via provision of a blueprint, which should be part of policy statement for library and information centers. The reference is generally okay, but I observe that there are some inconsistencies somewhere in the referencing, where instead of initials, first name was used. So please recheck such aspects for correction. But I want to say that Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution, it provides for right to private life, and this is all encompassing. You can look at that provision to bring out what it has for protection of privacy, protection of data. And again, the Copyright Act is also quite elaborate enough and can offer some good assistance in this respect. You know, where you want to use somebody's information, there are provisions that you seek consent. And if you don't do that, you know, there are liabilities. There are situations where you are privileged to use data for some official purposes, but certainly not for general dissemination. So by and large, I commend the efforts of the presenter and hope that you look at the paper once again with a view to harnessing all the inputs gathered from this presentation. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. I think the chairperson is telling me that the Holy Spirit is at work. Why is it now that a presenter is raising a legal issue that will brought the barrister doctor to champion that? I think the next paper I have here now is talking about the Public Procurement Act. God day. We have a barrister doctor to do justice to what we have on ground. So the next paper I'm having will be from Builder. E.O. Bamidele is from Building Technology Department, Federal Polytechnic Kilaro. I know he will be surprised how I got to know he's a builder doctor anyway. That's my alma mater. And I hope you are taking care of our former rector in your department presently. We appreciate your participation from Ilaro. My regards to everybody there. Thank you very much. You can have your presentation now. Builder Dr. Ebenezer Bamidele is to present a paper titled Effects of Project Sponsors on the Levels of Compliance with Public Procurement Act 2007 in project delivery by public tertiary institutions in Southwest Nigeria. Thank you. You can, okay. Yeah, up, sir. Sir, we cannot have your audio. We can't have your audio, please, sir. There's a technical issue with your mic. You can unmute again, sir. You can unmute again now. We still cannot have your audio, sir. Possibly there's a challenge with your microphone. Are you hearing me? Can you hear him?
Yeah, I saw him.
Yes. You can unmute yourself again, sir. You can unmute yourself again. We can't still hear you, sir. We cannot hear you. Possibly we'll go to the next person. Maybe the microphone is actually afraid because there's a barrister doctor to scrutinize the paper. I don't know. Kindly assist us to check the microphone that is working so that we'll pick up from you later, sir. We'll go to the next presentation. I have with me Mrs. Justina Solomon. I don't know whether Mrs. Justina is here. Mrs. Justina Solomon, you can unmute yourself now to have your presentation. Mrs. Justina Solomon is from Department of Office, Technology and Management, Plateau State Polytechnic back in Ladi in Jos. And she is to present a paper on office ethics and as tools to curb corrupt practices in Nigeria. Mrs. Justina, you can unmute yourself and make your presentation. Mrs. Justina, are you here? Mrs. Justina, you can unmute yourself.
Okay.
Okay, you can go ahead with your presentation now. You have 7 minutes.
I have.
Please.
I've done that. Hello? Can you hear me, sir?
You can go ahead. I can hear you clearly. You can go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon, all. Our paper is titled "The Effects Office Ethics as Tools to Curb Corrupt Practices in Organizations," and it was written or co-authored by Vivian Inkiruka-Wanang and then Boar Nanasua from Department of Office Technology and Management, Plateau State Polytechnic, Barkin Ladi.
You can go ahead, please. We can hear you. Madam Justina, we can hear you. You can go ahead, please. I think we are having network challenge with you as well.
Successful.
I think. And go back to Dr. Bamidele. Let us go back to Dr. Bamidele and check whether we can have him now. Dr. Bamidele, you can unmute yourself and attempt to make your presentation, whether your microphone is working now.
Hello, sir.
Yes, we can hear you now. Your microphone is no longer scared. You can make your presentation now. Can we have your video, please, sir?
No, I'm afraid. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, my name is Ebenezer Bamidele. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Ebenezer Bamidele from Federal Polytechnic Ilaro. I am starting on the system protocol. I'm here to present the paper on effects of project on the levels of compliance with Public Procurement Act 2007 in project delivery by
You are having impression that you are just coming
Hello, sir. Are you hearing me, sir?
You can go ahead, sir.
All right, sir. I'm presenting a paper on effects of project sponsors on the levels of compliance with Public Procurement Act 2007 in project delivery by public tertiary institutions in Southwest Nigeria. I go straight to the aim, objectives, and the hypothesis. The aim of the paper is to investigate the contribution of compliance with Procurement Act 2007 to projects funded through government appropriation and tech fund in public tertiary institutions in Southwest Nigeria. And the objectives of the paper are to establish the level of compliance with Public Procurement Act 2007 by public tertiary institutions in Southwest Nigeria, and also to establish the relationship between compliance with the acts in project procure and funded through government appropriation and TED fund in PTIs. PTIs mean public tertiary institutions in Southwest Nigeria. In order to achieve the objectives of the study, an hypothesis was formulated. The hypothesis stated that there is no significant difference between the levels of compliance with Public Procurement Act 2007 and the project sponsors by government appropriation and TED fund in public tertiary institutions in Southwest Nigeria. In achieving this objective, a number of In achieving the objectives, a number of questionnaires were sent to respondents. Our respondents were procurement officers in the public tertiary institutions. We have 44 public tertiary institutions covered by the study in Southwest Nigeria, and also 44 respondents. The respondents are the procurement officer of each public tertiary institution in the Southwest Nigeria. So the questionnaire were given to them, and they were asked to select, or they were asked to tell us which of the selected 39 provisions of the Procurement Act that are relevant to construction procurement they comply with, and the one they do not comply with. So the data collected from this were analyzed, and the results and findings were as follows. One, on level of compliance with the Act through project funded by through government appropriations and TED funding these institutions, it was discovered that compliance is generally low, as mean compliance in public
So, you have less than 2 minutes to summarize your presentation, please, sir. You have less than 2 minutes to summarize your presentation.
As mean compliance in public access to procurement records is 0, meaning there is no compliance with this provision of the Act. And this indicates that there is a contravention on that particular provision. The overall level of compliance in the two sponsors were 57% and 55% in government appropriation and TED fund, respectively. Our relationship with the level of compliance with the Act and project funded by the two sponsors, the only 9 provisions of the Act show a significant relationship with the funding. So conclusions and recommendation. On the conclusion, it was concluded that the level of compliance with the Act was very low, and there is lack of openness and transparency in projects procured by these institutions. Recommendations. The management of the institutions are advised to improve on their level of compliance, especially in the areas where they recorded weak compliance. And also the Bureau of Public Procurement, which is a regulatory body for monitoring the compliance with the Act, they are also advised to—
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you for your wonderful presentation. Let me pass you over to the chairperson for comments and observation. The chairperson.
Thank you very much.
For the beautiful presentation. That was a very good attempt The paper is about the general use of the Public Procurement Act to secure corrupt-free implementation of projects in tertiary institutions. And the focus of this paper is on tertiary institutions in Southwest Nigeria. The paper observed that generally the level of compliance is very low, especially in respect of projects funded by that fund office. The Public Procurement Act has an institution to enforce it, administer it, monitor it. And that is the Bureau of Public Procurement. There are also several other agencies that have something to do with that, but the Bureau of Public Procurement is a major institution empowered to oversee the utilization of this act. The paper observed that violation of the provision is especially more due to unrestricted public access to the institution's unclassified procurement records. That is, there are some provisions saving certain records from scrutiny, and this is a possible cause of corrupt practices. The Bureau is also empowered, actually, to sanction erring institutions. The Bureau is empowered to sanction erring institutions, but I cannot see any record here. I may not graph it, but I cannot see any record here showing that the Bureau has been actually effectively performing its oversight functions and by way of sanctioning, because for violation to accumulate, it means they have not been attempting to sanction the institution so that they can be deterred from such practices. Again, there is a need to identify even unrestricted access is one, but there are several other causes why the compliance with the Public Procurement Act has been a problem. I think that we need to highlight some of such causes, and they need to bring those, to activate those commissions which provide for sanctions to deal with erring institutions so that they can be more compliant in their procurement processes and procedures. The paper recommends that the National Council on Public Procurement and the Bureau should be up to date in their function. I think that they should be more alert or be more active and really rise up to monitoring compliance with the Public Procurement Act. So, by and large, I think the focus and scope of the paper is clear. The paper is well structured. That's introduction, and it captured previous studies and what had been noted in literature. And the methodology is also clearly stated. The paper has adopted the upper style of referencing, and I think to a large extent, it has been properly utilized. So once again, I congratulate the presenter for the beautiful presentation.
Thank you very much, the chairperson. I hope Dr. Bandele are taking note of all the observations raised. Kindly put them to proper use to enrich the paper more. Thank you very much, sir. I will go back to Madam Justina Solomon. Madam Justina, you can just pick up from where you started from. You have less than 3 minutes to round up. You can just pick up from where you stopped the other time so that we'll have you quickly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mrs. Abata Ibire should please be prepared. She will be taking next after Madam Justina. Madam Justina, please continue from where you stopped the other time. Thank you.
Okay, the paper explored the concept of ethics and the principles of ethics and the importance of ethical conduct in the organization. What is ethics? From the definition we have, ethics are the conducts that have been adopted by an organization in order to enhance peaceful conduct in the office, or the right conduct, or the needed ethical conduct that is expected from the employee. And we looked at some examples of conduct in the office, like the way people interact with each other within the organization and the effect of their interactions on the performance of the organization, on the performance of the workers, and then we looked at the principles of ethics. We have 5. We have the principle of rationality, fairness or impartiality. We have efficiency, and we looked at the importance of ethics. Any organization that is not guided by an ethical
conduct. You can go ahead and give us your issue, your problems you identified, these solutions you have suggested in the paper. To round up, please, you have less than 1 minute to do that.
Okay, we found that corruption has been the reason for the poor ethical conduct within the organization. And we have concluded that unless, we concluded that, based on the situation and the reviews of the authors.
Madam Justina, thank you very much for your presentation. You can just be attentive to take down the observations as will be raised by the chairperson. Chairperson, you can have her now. Thank you, ma'am.
I'm not happy with this presentation.
Am I heard? Okay. All right. Well done, Mrs. Justina Solomon, for the good attempt. The paper focuses on the using office ethics to curb corrupt practices in Nigeria. The paper identified the concepts of ethics, the principles of ethics, importance of ethical conduct in the organization, and highlighted the effects of office ethics in the office place. Effect of office ethics. I guess that should be effects of proper office ethics, or the otherwise. That one is not very clear, but the different types of office ethics are identified. Concept of corruption is also highlighted, and causes, major causes of corruption, and the effects on governance is also well highlighted. Consequences of corruption can be loss of trust, diversion of resources. It can also be gender specific. It can increase production costs. The paper makes recommendations for using office ethics to curb corrupt practices in the office. I conclude that the severity of corruption at large can be eradicated, can be reduced. If you say eradicated to the barest minimum, I think it can be reduced. But if it's eradicated, then that is attaining a total zero level of corruption. It recommends that government should come up with a standard guideline that all organizations must adhere to. And that those found guilty must face the wrath of the law. So well done again, Madam Justina. I'd like to comment on your abstracts. I think there's a need to rework that to be more catchy. Introducing the background to your study, emphasizing the focus, the scope, the method used, and then your findings and conclusion and recommendation. Please recheck that abstract. I think it can be better reworked. You have employed APA, but I doubt if the style is properly used. You need to check that. I think it's surname and the year. We should all be in the same bracket. There are some references here. The citation of the surname is not in the same bracket with the year. I think you need to check that. And I also think somewhere where you are clarifying this concept, office ethics as a concept should be put together somewhere and highlighted, since it's the focus of this paper. So I think by the time you do those things and look through the paper again, the paper should become much improved. So congratulations on the presentation. Please still look at your conclusion too. It's a bit very, very scanty, and you should actually work it towards your introduction. That is, what did you set out to achieve with this paper? Conclusion should align with that objective. So well done. Thank you, MC.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Madam Justina, we apologize for cutting you off. The network was disturbing, and we feel we can take your papers. We apologize. It was due to the network challenges you're having from your end, and we don't want to disenfranchise you. We apologize sincerely for that. Then I'll go to Mrs. Abata. Give us her presentation, please. Mrs. Abata, please kindly unmute yourself and go ahead with your presentation. You have 7 minutes to do that. Mrs. Abata is of the Department of Library and Information Science of Federal Polytechnic Ede, and she's presenting a paper on curbing corruption through effective information provision for national development in Nigeria. You can go ahead, please. You have 7 minutes. Thank you.
Good afternoon, participants. My name is Nabata Ibure, and my co-author is Stephen Adekunle Ajayi. And the title of my paper is Curbing Corruption Through Effective Information Provision for National Development in Nigeria. The previous participant has defined what corruption is, but I'm going to give one definition of what corruption is. And I define corruption as an illegal misconduct covering improper benefits contrary to legal and moral norms and values. And also, the major objective of this paper is to identify the key causes of corruption in Nigeria, to establish the extent of use of various channels for providing effective information in copying corruption, and also to identify the rules of libraries in copying corruption for national development. Those are the major theory objective of this paper. And as we all know that information is a very vital tool in any given society we find ourselves into now. Provision of information can help and can also bring about a less corrupt Nigeria, which is one of the core services provided by library and information professionals. And also, librarians' role is to make information on corrupt practices, to make them available and easily accessible to the general public for national development. And for the paper, the methodology being adopted was a descriptive survey design and a cross-section of library and information science professionals in Osun State, Nigeria.
Mrs. Can you please go to the in-depth of the paper, tell us the problems you found and your preferred solutions to those problems? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. And the in-depth problem of this problem is that corruption practice has been all over. It has been over the decades, and the study really demonstrated the rules of library and information professionals on how they can curb corruption by providing effective information provision. And the study also revealed that social media is the most highly used channels that library and information professionals can use to provide effective information services in curbing corruption. And the recommendation being made was that government should provide adequate funds to all forms of libraries that we have so that they can live up to expectation to fight this corruption we are talking about. And enough money, there should be an investment in the provision of library-based information system in the country. And also, library can also create or cooperate in the creation of anti-corruption portals, whereby they can create a portal whereby information related to corruption practices can be uploaded, and which will link the content from the official sources, the anti-corruption agencies, and other relevant sources. So those are my recommendations. And looking at the references, upper references style was adopted.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. You have presented the paper. Do assess yourself. Let the chairperson observe you. Thank you, man. We know you are from library and information science, so there's possibly, if there's anything with your references, we'll possibly challenge you to do something more. Thank you very much. The chairperson, ma, you can take up from here, ma.
Thank you, Mr. MC. Mrs. Damilola Blessing. Well done. The paper is on using effective information provision for national development to curb corruption. The paper started with the introduction, dwelling on corruption. Quite detailed, introducing corruption. Literature review also focused largely on corruption. The methodology, however, is based on a survey carried out among library information science professionals. Causes of corruption are highlighted in the paper, and the channels for providing effective information services are also itemized. The paper identified social media as the most used source of information. The paper concludes that as information professionals to give effective information for national development, and that the library and information professionals should diversify ways of reaching out to the citizens who do not have access to social media. Well, the recommendation did not state any particular example with which that can be achieved. I think you should look at that, not just a blanket recommendation. Upper style of referencing has been utilized, and to a large extent, I think it's correctly put. But you can still check. Well, I can see one that is a bit off it. Citation of surnames to be together in the same bracket as the year of citation. I think that is a correct position. Then I want to comment on this abstract, please. There is a need to rework this abstract. An abstract should introduce the topic or give general background at the beginning, and then identify the problem properly, which is the gap that the research is trying to fill before going into the methodology. So I think that abstract generally should be revisited and reworked. So by and large, it is a useful paper for curbing corruption and attaining national development. So congratulations on the presentation. Well done.
Thank you very much, the chairperson. The next paper now is on bibliotherapy, librarian's tool for value communication and corruption reduction in Nigeria, which is to be taken by Yakub Ahmed Olayinka of Federal Polytechnic of. So Mr. Yakub, you can unmute yourself and go ahead with your You can as well show us your video, please. You can as well show us your video, Mr. Yakub.
I'm here now.
Mr. Yakub, you can unmute yourself again.
Okay.
Yeah, muting yourself. Show us your video. Maybe you are mistaking the mute button for the video button, so kindly regularize accordingly. Show us a video, please.
Wow.
We can hear you. You have muted yourself again. You can unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you clearly. Please, let us have your video, please. Mr. Yakub, please
Can you hear me?
go ahead and make your presentation. If you cannot have your video, please
Okay,
go ahead and make your presentation.
Thank you very much.
We can hear you.
All protocol duly observed. Ahmed Yakub Olayinka is my name. I'm here to present a paper titled Bibliotherapy, Librarians' Tools for Value Communication and Corruption Reduction in Nigeria. It is co-authored by Shola Emmanuel Olabi and Khadijat Asabe Usman from Federal Polytechnic Ede. Now, corruption has been defined by several authors, but the central message is here that it focuses on the high perception that the corruption is abuse of public offices for personal benefits, not putting in mind the low-level corruptions that has to do with educational development of our children. In several researches, it has been observed that parental factors have some effect on educational development. In a situation whereby the parents try to lobby the head of schools, teachers, and principals in order to ensure that their children pass during examination. And this has been the root of all corruptions from foundation. Now, the central message of this paper is to observe exposition on the role of bibliotherapy in communicating value to reduce corruption. And bibliotherapy is an innovative approach which engages the use of books and electronic resources as an intervention to several challenges confronting humans. This paper, therefore, tries to explain the following concepts as a way of using bibliotherapy. One, it is advised that librarians anchor real-life documentaries. And real-life documentary is a situation whereby you invite personalities or special individuals within the society, whereby the real-life, the unbelievable experiences in life can be tabled to viewers or audience or library users so that they can believe that such things are possible, especially in the aspect of corrupt practices. We have a situation whereby some member of the society.
Mr. Yakub Olayinka, you can tell us the main focus of your paper, the problems you derived at, and the suggested solutions to those problems, so that we'll move forward, please. Thank you.
Okay, the main focus of the paper is that librarians should use real-life documentary to curb corruptions. Then they should engage in creative writing of literatures as a means of curbing corruption. Then bibliographies and photographies, their interviews, their role-playing, they should acquire it. In conclusion, the paper has concluded that if bibliotherapy is used as a value communication, there's going to be a long way in curbing corruption in our society. And it's also recommended that, one, libraries in Nigeria should invest resources into studies on the potential of bibliotherapy as an intervention program. And again, heads of library should create a section in the library that focuses on bibliotherapy administration. Then three, that grants should be released for research activities on several intervention programs that could tame the spread of corruption in Nigeria. And finally, that book publishers should produce more of books that promote value. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed Yakub. I appreciate your intellectual capacity. Thank you very much to that paper quickly. I will, on this note, hand you over to the chairperson for necessary observation on your paper. Then I will take Mr. Kolade Akipelu next. Mr. Kolade Akipelu should be getting ready to make his presentation. Mr. Kolade Akipelu should be getting ready. The chairperson, ma'am.
What about now? Huh? So congratulations on your presentation, Mr. Yakub Ahmed. Olayinka. The presentation is on bibliotherapy. Bibliotherapy, not bibliography. Am I right? It's bibliotherapy. Bibliotherapy is the use of books and electronic resources as an intervention to several challenges confronting humans. So this paper sets out to highlight the advantages of using books and electronic resources to circulate information that can be beneficial to the youth and adults alike, which can bring about positive changes in our attitudes in order to reduce corrupt practices. And the paper advocates that the government should invest heavily in this, that is, provide funds so that these resources can be highly utilized and the public can actually benefit from this exercise by librarians. The paper adopted the upper style of referencing, and to a large extent, this has been properly put. The paper is duly segmented into introduction, but there's no clear-cut definition of concepts. So I think this should be checked and the paper redesigned to show, concepts as a follow-up to introduction, which is the usual approach to be better meaningful. Materials such as creative writing has been advocated. That is depicting correct moral attitudes, which can influence people to adopt same. Biographies and autobiographies, that's taking account of individuals' life and positive lessons that others can gain from. Recording interviews on electronic devices for transmission, that is personality profiles that can also motivate others to behave well. Role playing, all these aspects of bibliotherapy that can be adopted for circulating moral education, which assists both the young and the old to stay clear of corrupt practices. So, congratulations on the presentation once again. I hope you look at the paper more deeply so that you can make some amendments where necessary. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. I will, on this note, call on Mr. Kolade Akipeli. Mr. Kolade, you can unmute yourself. You have 7 minutes. While Mr. Kolade will take his presentation, Mr. Ishola Bolanle Clifford should be getting ready. Mr. Kolade is from the Department of Business Administration and Management, Osun State College of Technology, SRK. Mr. Kolade, you can go ahead. You have 7 minutes.
Yeah, good evening. All protocols observed. The title of our paper is Effects of Corporate Social Responsibility on Organization Performance. If you look at the abstract, the paper really addressed the effect of CSR on organization performance with a particular reference to International Bureau Silesia. A lot of things has been said on CSR is not a new phenomenon, but there are few papers that has been addressed, especially in these international bureaus limited. And under the statement of the problem, we are able to look at and investigate the effect of CSR in relating to their customers, the market shares, and the sales volumes. And under the literature review, we have three categories: the conceptual, the theoretical, and the empirical. And when you look at the concept of corporate social responsibility as defined by various authors, but because of this paper, we are aligned to the one, the Carroll, that was defined in 1979 and 1991, which focuses on four major things. That is the legal, ethical, discretion, and expectation from the society. That is when the company is expected to be just, to be fair, avoid legal responsibility, obey and regulate within the jurisdiction that can make them to be profitable. And if you look at it, there are three basic principles that are being attached to the CSR, that is sustainability, the accountability, and the transparency. When we look at the organization performance, it can be discussed as an outcome, achieve goals, quality, and feel things that through the efficiency and effectiveness that organization is expected to do. So under this approach, we have various theoretical aspects. We have the stakeholder theories, the legitimacy theory, ethical aspect theories, shareholders theory, agents theory, and all. But for this purpose of this paper, we'll look at the stakeholders theory that captures those people that have impact within the jurisdiction of the organization, the employees, the customers, the society, the employees, the shareholders, and the rest like that. And under our methodology, we adopt a survey research design in which 217 respondents were drawn from the population of 500 employees. We take use of the Morgan-Chris table of 1970, and 200 respondents refunded the questionnaire rather, whereby Crunch Alpha coefficient was also.
You can go ahead and summarize your
under the
and tell us your findings, tell us your recommendations. Thank you.
Under the result and findings, we discovered that the results revealed that there was a significant and sufficient evidence that CSR positively influenced the performance of organization. And under the conclusion, the CSR should not be underestimated and it is a good strategy to enhance good performance, whereby we recommend that CSR should continue to be integrated as part of the corporate strategy of the international bureaus, which is the study area. They should increase their community initiative intervention. They should also include their employees in their CSR so as to increase the performance of the organization and increase of market shares and profitability. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kolade. I will, on this note, hand you over to the chairperson for comments and observation. Chairperson, please, you are on now.
Congratulations, Mr. Kolade, for the presentation. Let me start from the abstract straight away. Well, the paper from the title, it says effect of corporate social responsibility on organizational performance. And it says that questionnaires were distributed and analyzed from the respondents. Sorry, I may not be able to talk much about all those statistical. statements, and it has been concluded that corporate social responsibility and organization performance, National Bureau, PLC, Elisha, Osun State were related. The first issue that occurs to me is corporate social responsibility a motivational strategy, or what type of it for it to measure performance in an organization, or a device to check benefits bestowed by an organization on the immediate environment. I'm not very clear whether that is well captured here. What exactly is it as a matter of motivating people to perform? Can CSR motivate insiders to perform? So I don't really understand the concept. You may wish to look at that, the total concept.
Okay.
Whether you mean to say it is a tool for motivating staff to perform or not. There's a whole lot of literature stated here. Principles of CSR is highlighted. Accountability, organizational performance. Again, it's not very clear. It's not very clear how this is brought out. This relationship between CSR and organizational performance. There's a need to redefine those issues and the relationship, because you say somewhere that organizational performance mostly focus on the potential and talent of a corporation to efficiently utilize the available resources to realize accomplishments. So there's a need to align that with the concept of CSR. Is CSR an available resource to accomplish anything by an organization, or potential accomplishments via feedback from the community? There's a need to make something clearer in this concept, because I cannot get any clear statement now to say that whether corporate social responsibility of these breweries in the community has led to maybe improved patronage or relationship between the community and the organization. I think if this one is put clearly, rather than this demographic distribution, well, that is data information and their levels of education and all that. I don't know whether those people are really they want to indicate whether there is a relationship between the performance or not. Rather, I think the management of that company should be in a better position to say whether there is any feedback based on their previous CSR activities in their organizational performance. So there may be the need to recheck and set out these issues in a clearer manner. So recommendation, CSR should be integrated as part of the corporate strategies that enhances corporate performance in the organization. International bureaus should increase their community initiative intervention and should include their employees in their CSR so as to increase the performance. Well done, it's a very good attempt, but please, I think you need to really clarify the concept of CSR and how it actually impacts on the performance of the organization. The upper referencing has been utilized and to a large extent, and I think this is okay. So, congratulations and all the best.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I will not waste our time for that. Mr. Ishola Bolanle Clifford of the Department of Library and Information Science, Federal Polytechnic. You are on now. Please, you can unmute your device. You can unmute your device. Yes, you can go ahead with your presentation, please.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Good afternoon.
Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon. From the Department of Library and Information Science, Federal Polytechnic. I am also
your network reception in your area is quite not impressive. You can kindly relocate yourself to the place where we have a good network and hear you clearly, please.
I can hear you very.
It's not about hearing me, it's about hearing you. You are the one making presentation. I'm just a moderator. Kindly assist us to search for where there's a good network so that we can clearly hear you. Your voice is breaking over here. Thank you. Mr. Shola, I will have to. Mr. Shola, I will have to put you on hold while I take another question so that you can resolve the network issue. Thank you. Apologies, please. I have to take Mrs. Adeagbo, or I don't know whether it is Mr. or Mrs. Adeagbo. I know Adeagbo, yes, Aderemi. Adeagbo, please, if you can hear me, you are on. You can unmute yourself and make your presentation. Adeagbo is from Mass Communication Department of Osun State Polytechnic, Ire, and is to present a paper on corruption and national development, assessing the role of mass media in Nigeria. Adeagbo, please, you are off.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, off, please. You can go ahead and make your presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Adeagbo Aderemi.
Okay,
from Osun State Polytechnic, representing the other author. I'm here to present the paper, Corruption and National Development, assessing the role of mass media. We all know, based on the fact that corruption, according to what
you have 7 minutes, please. Just help us to talk to your paper. Tell us the problems you found, your suggested recommendations.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to do. Definitely, corruption, definitely, we all know, based on what people have been saying.
We'll move forward from there. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So it has eaten deep into the fabric of this nation, and it has affected every social, economic, and political aspect of this nation. And even the president of this country, President Muhammadu Buhari, in the course of inaugural speech and the bid for a general election in 2015, made it known that corruption is our enemy. And if you don't kill corruption, it will definitely kill us. And in doing this, the media definitely need, as first estate of the realm, has a very significant role to play in savaging the whole situation in bringing about development in this country. Because media, definitely, according to the laid down principle, they are to give information, entertain, and inform, educate. And not only this, they have, according to the Constitution, Section 22, subsection of 1999 Constitution 39, 1 and 2 made it known that media should check the executive as fourth estate of the realm and every stakeholder in the country in order to bring development, because we all believe that development cannot just come on the platter of gold. It has to come with a collective responsibility of the people, and people don't necessarily want to do the right thing. Definitely they have to be pushed in order to get the best out of them. Meanwhile, media, as according to what in their bit in what they are doing so far so good, they've made us know series of corruption cases in Nigeria. We've remembered that of the Secretary to the Federal Government, Babachi Lawa. The case of Desiani is well known through the media. The case of Farouk Lawal of House of Representatives is made known through the media. And at the same time, the NDDC case of recent was made known to us as a result of the activity of the media. This is what we are trying to see. Are the media now, as we all know, they are serving a check and balance. Are they really doing their best in order to do the needful so as to bring development to this country? And as a result of that, we want to know, the researcher actually want to know if media actually contribute to the national development. Two, if the media, they want to know whether the media actually they are performing their role. And at the same time, we will actually want to know from the paper, are they actually living up to expectations irrespective of series of challenges in this country? And by and large, they want to know whether even the public actually fear the activities of the media or their name being mentioned as part of the corrupt officer. And we can definitely see that even based on the revelation from the NDC case, where the director of NDDC, Ponde, or the minister of Niger Delta, God Apabio, actually mentioned the National Assembly. So the National Assembly actually didn't want their name to be mentioned. Definitely, we actually want to check whether the media actually are up and doing in that. As a result of that, we engage on survey method of being a descriptive research, and we try to make use of the Nigerian journalists, also state Nigerian journalists, in order to know their view, fees and fees.
Please, you have less than 2 minutes.
Definitely, in doing that, so we have at the end of the research, the researcher actually discovered that the media actually they are doing their best in order to bring about development in this country. And at the same time, based on the findings, the politician and major public office holder, they don't want their name to be mentioned in any corrupt issue. And as a result of that, at the end of the day, the researcher actually concluded or made the recommendation that this is the best way for us to get the best, that every Nigerian, it must start from home. We must actually discipline ourselves about the issue of corruption in this country. And at the same time, the media, they should set agenda for themselves to be up and doing their work. And at the same time, appropriate law should be put in place. Although there is law, but it has not been fully implemented. If the appropriate law is put in place and equally sanction those who actually corrupt officer, these and many more, we definitely check the issue of corruption in the country, and definitely we are going to have national
thank you very much. Thank you very much for that presentation. Now for observations and comments. Chairperson, please. Yeah, up, man.
I would like to observe that the abstract can be better than this. I picked on a statement in particular in the middle of this abstract. It is not complete. The statement is not complete. And the abstract does not reflect the current position of mass media vis-a-vis corruption in Nigeria. I think that should be the focus and should be in the introductory aspects. And even in stating the problem, what is the current position? What are they doing that is right? And what are they doing that is not right? that is aiding corruption or contributing to corruption. And then what should they do to help to curb corruption? I think that needs to be clearly put. The paper is quite well segmented, and the methodology is well stated. But like I said, under focus of the study, I still think the concept of what exactly are the expected rules, what are they doing now vis-a-vis corruption, and what do they need to do should still be attended to. Please recheck that aspect. Then in the arrangement of this paper, the focus of your paper, the thrust of the paper is the role of mass media. And in arranging the write-up, it is the corruption aspect that was quite dwelt with, and came first. I think mass media issue should come first, and then you relate it to the problem of or the issue of corruption and what they are doing. Yeah, you emphasize in several places, yes, the media has a role, the media has a role, yes, they are. But what are they doing right now, and how are they doing it? If they are not producing results, I think this should be the direction to go in order to bring about meaningful reform in the mass media sector in order to curb corrupt practices in Nigeria. I've also made recommendations. Well, Nigeria should display high moral standards. I don't think that's a recommendation for the media. That is for the general public. Yeah, government should embark on aggressive orientation. That is not a recommendation for the media. You are focusing on the role of the media. So I think you should look at all this. Appropriate laws. I think you should direct, once you identify the focus of your research, all other aspects should be tailored to follow that. Your conclusion should follow that. Your recommendation should also follow that. What should the mass media do? You want them to be better invigorated and energized to do their work so that we can get results and they can actually bring down cases or rates of corruption in Nigeria. So by and large, it's a very good attempt, but please, I think you should look at it again, put issues in their proper perspective, and arrange the content in order of significance in relation to the topic of the paper. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. I will switch back immediately to Mr. Shola. Mr. Shola, you can have your presentation now. Mr. Shola. Not sure I still have the hold of him.
Hello, good afternoon.
Mr. Shola, go ahead, please.
I'm Shola Bonali Clifford from Department of Library and Information Science. I'm presenting the paper.
Go ahead, please. No, okay. Meji.
Title of our paper is Academic Preparedness for Youth amid COVID-19 pandemic, the case of academic libraries in Eden Metropolis. Etymology and origin of COVID-19. Over COVID-19, type of virus from the family of coronavirus. Its outbreak was first reported and documented in Wuhan, China, COVID-19. It was not named COVID-19. COVID-19 is derived from coronavirus, while it's virus data. On 2020, COVID-19 public health emergency for international concern. Word coronavirus is a Latin word that means crown. That the virus is, hence it is termed coronavirus. How the virus spread. COVID-19 virus spread primarily through droplets of saliva or discharge from the nose when an infected person or sneeze. It is important to practice good respiratory and hygienic etiquette. Respiratory etiquette includes talking so flexible, body shaking of hands, physical distancing when in public places, use of hand sanitizer and frequent washing of hands, use of face masks, and avoid touching our hands, our nose, mouth, and eyes with our hands where possible. In public places, we are advised to stay at from an individual who is coughing or the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the global economy. The COVID-19 pandemic has translated into a global crisis with severe contraction in the global economy. The topmost economy of the world, like Japan, United States, England, and invisible to the virus. Before mention of the virus, our economy is. The GDP minus 33%, Nigeria to minus, the UK minus 20%. Commission reviewed, also drawn. Our research methodology is a survey type of research design. Question 1, we found that academic libraries need police adopted a combination of restriction approaches to mitigate the COVID-19 pandemic. Business as usual, 100%.
You have less than 2 minutes to wrap up your presentation. You have less than 2 minutes. Your network is very tricky. Can you tell us your findings, your suggested recommendations?
The students agree that organizing demonstration of how to properly wash hands from elbow down to the finger, and providing of nose masks will help to curb the spread of the virus within the library environment when the library finally opens at the pandemic. And also research question 3. We also looked at different skills that librarians will have to be able to manage the COVID-19 pandemic, and the students agreed that they have the ability to be able to manage the virus from spreading in the library environment. So question 4, which was on the preparation made for user safety within the library environment when the library opens. So the respondents agreed that they have made arrangements for promoting the use of digital library moving services online, provision of infrared method to test users going to the library, provision of face masks and gloves, and also arrange the library environment to ensure distance spacing between the sitting environment or reading area in the library. And the challenges facing the library as it prepared to be open amid the COVID-19 pandemic, observe the power supply, erratic power supply, finance, discomfort occasioned by long hours of use of face masks, adapting to new working environments, fear of contacting the virus in working environments, fear that the patient may be cooperative, discomfort occasioned by use of wearing face masks are part of the challenges observed. Now, in conclusion, the study concluded by examining the Nigerian government for responsibly managing COVID-19 pandemic.
Mr. Aishala, thank you for your presentation. Thank you very much. I will call on the chairperson now to take us through the observation and comments on your paper. The chairperson, ma'am.
Thank you, the presenter. This paper is on the preparedness of academic libraries for reopening amid COVID-19 pandemic in Ede metropolis. 27 academic librarians were sampled and 20 actually responded. Interestingly, the paper found that the libraries are making use of multiple approaches to combating COVID-19 pandemic. But in this abstract, the issue is not well stated. What is the issue? What is this paper proving? Yes, preparedness. What is it proving? Because they said that they are well prepared. So what is left to be done? I think that should be the gap and should be properly identified and stated as the problem or the gap that the people want to address. So as a whole, I suggest that the abstracts be reworked and be properly put. The conclusion and recommendation actually, well, let me say the conclusion. Because there was no clear-cut problem stated, the conclusion also is not pointing in any direction. The study concludes by thanking the Nigerian government. I don't see how this addresses anything, and it's not concluding on what has been generally studied. So this also should be rechecked. Interestingly, the recommendations followed the identified challenges. The challenges are more or less the aspects of the problems, and some of this should actually reflect in the abstract. So you should go back to feature some of these challenges. That is, those are the things that are waiting to be attended to. So that is what should be stated as a statement of the problem and also the focus of the study. But the recommendations have actually followed the identified challenges, but it has not been properly captured as statement of the problem in the abstract or in any other place. So this should be also rechecked. So by and large, it's a good paper with a good prospect for assisting in coping in this era of COVID-19 pandemic. So once again, congratulations and all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Shola. Mr. Ibilola, I don't know whether you'll be taking a paper co-authored by Oyeka Rafia. That paper was scheduled to be taken this morning, or you are a co-author to that paper. I don't know whether you want to take that paper. While Mr. Yusuf Abdulaziz should be ready to make presentation now. Mr. Yusuf Abdulaziz, yeah. You're up now, Mr. Yusuf Abdulaziz.
Okay. Yes, I'm on.
Mr. Yusuf Abdulaziz, you can make your presentation now. You can go ahead and make your presentation now.
Hello, good evening. Hello.
Good evening, yeah. Oh.
Okay, thank you very much. This is Yusuf Abdulaziz Olatunji.
Good evening, we can hear you.
All right, this is Yusuf Abdulaziz Olatunji from FC, Federal College of Education, Otangora, Niger State. Hello.
You're welcome.
All right. I'm here to present a paper titled The Roles of Information and Communication Technology in Curbing Corruption for National Development. And my co-authors are Mohammed N. Musa, Mohammed Abdullahi, Jibrin, and Oyefeso Olufemi O.
Mr. Yusuf, you have
Yes.
less than 7 minutes to go. No, you have 7 minutes, but you have started. You have less than 7 minutes. You can speedily talk to your paper, tell us the findings, and suggest recommendations on how to solve those problems. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. The abstract goes thus. Information and communication technology has no doubt positively impacted humanity in virtually all walks of life. ICT is pretty much relied on today for provision of security and enforcement of rule and order in the society. Corruption has eaten deep into all spheres of life in the Nigerian society, and the use of ICT has great potential to reduce it by enhancing transparency and accountability of government administration. This paper discusses the concept of ICT, corruption, and national development. It highlights the implication of corruption on national development, the role of ICT in curbing corruption, and the challenges of ICT of its utilization. It was recommended, among others, that the citizenry should be provided with political environments that promotes and protects freedom of expression, in which the development and use of ICT is not censored with prejudice, that government should increase awareness on the economy, political, social, and legal cost of corruption and corrupt practices on individual and the society, and that campaigns of honesty, probity, and accountability should be intensified, promoted, and institutionalized through the use of ICT. Introduction. Nowadays, hardly do an hour passes either during the day or night when information and communication technology does not obtrude into our lives. Its presence in Nigeria has pretty much revolutionized the way information is communicated from one point to another. Presently, the number of sectors adopting the use of ICT keeps increasing due to its efficacy, accuracy, and accountability. Its widespread in this 21st century can be noticed in different sectors such as banking, education, business, government, among others. There is no contesting the fact that the introduction of ICT has massively downsized the level of corruption practices in business activities in the country. Indices have shown that there is remarkable improvement in the cleansing processes in the system, according to Danfulani 2013. Local and international anti-graft watchdogs are called the introduction of ICT through e-governance. Much of the credit.
Mr. Blasis, you can round up your presentation now. Mr. Blasis, you can round up your presentation now.
Okay. Please, now just allow me to jump to the threat of corruption on national development in Nigeria. Many reasons have been put forward as probable causes for the prevalence of corruption in Nigeria, and that have contributed to the problem of Nigerian development, according to Okolo and Akoki 2014. And they also further highlighted that as regards features of corruption, the most common are giving and receiving bribes, inflammation of contracts, kickback and payments upfront, abuse of public property, lodging government funds into private accounts. To this effect, ICT and the challenges to anti-corrupt. One, inside it, I have the political environment, we have the potential for misuse, and we have security and confidentiality. There are others inside the paper. Now, on the roles of ICT in curbing corruption, also, I have more of them there. And on this place, I will just try to talk about the building political commitment, the providing legal support, and also promoting access and the use of ICT to help us deal with corruption. Aside the stated rules, other interventions equally contributed to the curbing corruption. Adam and Feskas, 2018, enumerated 6 types of ICT-based anti-corruption intervention that can help take care of corruption in Nigeria if put into practice. Among them, we have digital public service and e-government, we have crowdsourcing platform, and we have whistleblowing tools. In conclusion, Oh, sorry, please. The recommendation here. One, I have the government should, as a matter of policy, ensure.
Mr. Aziz, thank you for that presentation. Thank you. I have to stop you here while I pass you over to the chairperson to make observations and comments. Thank you. Chairperson, please. You can go ahead, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you. Congratulations to the presenter for this good effort. Let me start with the abstract. The abstract started quite well, but I think somewhere in the middle there is the need to make amends. The problem is not stated, it's not clear on the face of this abstract. Yes, ICT has great potential to reduce corruption, okay? But what are the problems? If it has the potential, why is it not achieving it maximally now? So I think that issue of problem with the ICT and achieving this should be clearly captured in the abstract. That is not very clear. Interestingly, too, under challenges, ICT and the challenges, some of such problems were highlighted, like internet access, confidentiality, and cost. And one would expect that that should actually be featured as part of the challenges and what to attend to as a focus of this paper. The paper has made a good number of recommendations, but I don't think, like I said, if the problem is not properly put, the recommendation cannot be directed towards anything. So there is a need to rework the abstracts, make the focus of this paper clearer, and then tailor the recommendation towards the focus of this paper, like what to do with internet access, what to do with issues of confidentiality, what to do with costs. I think those should be the major recommendations before others. Then the opening of the introduction doesn't sound academic. I think you should look at that. But if you start a paper by saying nowadays, it sounds like starting to narrate a story or something. I think a better word or synonym will find for this kind of expression. The paper is detailed, well segmented, but there is a need for alignment between the title, the segments, and the conclusion of the paper so that it can be of better use. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Thank you, the chairperson of the technical session. You are highly appreciated, Ma. We appreciate your efforts in doing justice to all these papers presented. Thank you very much, Ma.
Thank you.
I will, on this note, call on the chairperson of Research and Publications Committee to please give us a vote of thanks to close this session. Chairperson, ma'am.
Thank you, our chief host. I want to first of all appreciate God for seeing us through the second day today, for the grace we have enjoyed, good strength. At least no one has collapsed since morning, whether here or all over the world. So we are grateful to God for that. Let me also appreciate all our chairmen for technical session. The first person is our own Dr. Mrs. Caroline Oluwafunke Adewusi, the immediate past deputy rector of the Federal Polytechnic Ede. who chairman the first morning session, for a very good job that she did. Thank you very much, ma'am. In addition, I want to also appreciate Dr. Debbie Yi, who is the current HOD, Department of Accountancy of Federal Polytechnic Ede, for another good job. He was the one that moderated the first afternoon session. Permit me also now to appreciate our own Dr. Mrs. MJ Mohammed, who, despite the fact that he stumbled at this program, he had obliged us to moderate the last technical session for today. Thank you very much, madam. It all shows that we are committed to the institution. Thank you. We appreciate you and wish you journey messages back to your destination. I also want to appreciate our dean, the working dean, trailblazing dean. Thank you for your support. He has been seated in the office this morning, giving us the moral, the spiritual, and any other kind of support. Thank you very much, sir. Permit me to appreciate all members of technical crew, beginning from Mr. Bankefa, Bankejesu, who is the chairman technical committee. He has been doing a very good job. Mr. Biodun, is also there, a member of technical committee. You guys, you are wonderful. Mr. DMO is also there. Thank you for the good support that you have given to the program. And Mado, the registration officer, I don't think he has even left his seat since morning. People have been bombarding him with all manners of questions, and he's stopping the situation. Thank you very much, my dear. The Lord bless you. I also want to appreciate Mr. Matajo, all the way from UK. In fact, in the morning when the things were not going on well, he quickly called our attention. We appreciate Mr. Matajo. The Lord bless and keep you for us. And regards to your family, permit me finally to appreciate somebody that I call Major Man. The Major Man in the sense that he's the chief host here, Mr. Abidin Ali. He can lock you in, out, and he can key you in. He can do and undo by the power conferred on him by this committee. Thank you very much. Sky is not your limit. The Lord will continue to bless you. And I want to appreciate Mrs. Olubato, who has been helping us with the refreshment. He has not allowed us to go dry. Even all our technical chairmen, she has taken care of them. Thank you very much. And our Minister of Finance, please don't bother to locate his number. He doesn't carry cash. He's always there for us. Alaji Oyebanji, he has been supporting us with funds since morning and since the beginning of the program. Wherever you are, it's a pleasure to bless you. Very good network area. Our technical session tomorrow starts on the dot of 9, and we are rounding off by 12. So please make yourself available. Once you are not there, we move to the next person. On the nutshell, I want to say thank you very much. We have enjoyed good patronage of this program. Thank you, and God bless you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you very much, the chairperson. I want to appreciate you for that in-depth vote of thanks. I want to especially thank the Dean for standing by us, and I have to extend my appreciation to the entire management committee of the Prayer for Tech Academy, who is making this to be happening live all over the world. I want to sincerely and personally thank Mr. A.I. Motaji from Glasgow, Scotland, in the United Kingdom. He has been the brain behind all these outstanding achievements. May God, in His infinite mercies, give him the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to finish his program over there and come back home with a lot of experience and bring us up. Those of us that are his mentee, that is mentoring. We are many in number. We appreciate your kind participation and family support. Thank you very much, sir. God bless you all the way from UK. Thank you very much. It is on this note that I will bring this session to an end. We'll reconvene tomorrow for our last technical session from 9 to 12 tomorrow. All our participants and all our viewers on YouTube should please join us tomorrow by 9 o'clock on the dot. We'll be live 9 o'clock on the dot on YouTube. And our closing ceremony will follow the presentation tomorrow. Thank you all. God bless you. Have a wonderful night rest.